Let's quickly explore the calculate function. Let me just, yeah, good that, this report file has everything in it. I just click on the plus icon here to create a new page for you people to understand quickly, right? So, or recollect whatever it is. So I'm going to click on it, matrix visual. Already we discussed any of, since the calculate function is very important function, I'm going to repeat it again. Another thing is, a couple of people you missed out. I just go ahead and drop the category column from the dimension category table. And then here I just use the fact sales table. Here simply we will proceed with using the sales amount column. Okay, and here, like in Excel pivot table, how it gives, right, automatically, here also it gives you the breakup of or breakdown of sales amount by category automatically. It gives you the total sales, everything. And also you can use the clustered column chart also, right? So even in the case of clustered column chart, everywhere you can use this one, right? It gives you the things automatically, not only the pivot table, okay? Matrix is a kind of a pivot table, yes, fine. The sales amount is getting displayed and I just go ahead and type total sales here. And I believe all of you remember what is a measure, all that, how to create a measure and all, right? Not this one, total sales. Fact sales, sales amount, correct. So what I do is this is a measure total sales. I just drag and drop it. As a best practice, instead of using the implicit measure like sales amount, I have used the total sales, right? Measure, okay, explicit measure. So in this measure, I have used the sum of sales amount. But instead of using sum of sales amount, if you simply drag and drop the sales amount column, it applies the sum function implicitly, right, on the sales amount column. But this is not the best practice, right? Using the sales amount thing. So what I do is I'm going to remove the sales amount column from here. Let us use only the measure here. And I go to the format your visual and here I just say the fonts. Global font size. Okay, we are done with this. And here I'm going to use a slicer. So how does Power BI desktop arrive this value? So in this case, where category equal to dairy, find out the total sales. For dairy category alone, find out the total. So in that case, it will filter only dairy related transactions and it will apply the sum on the sales amount column, right? So that's how it works. This is your initial filter context. And here I'm going to drop this one. Where is that? Let me just check. Yeah, the customer dimension table. No, location dimension table. I'm going to use a location name. I'm going to drag and drop the location name in this slicer visual. For example, if I select a Bangalore location, it automatically applies the filter to this visual. And to check that, just above the visual, you have this icon, filter icon. Click on it. On this visual, the location name Bangalore is applied. So Bangalore sales, you can see it here, right? The breakdown of total sales by category in Bangalore. So here, what is the filter context? For example, if you look at this dairy row, right, where category equal to dairy and location name equal to Bangalore. In addition to the dairy, where category equal to dairy, it applies another filter like location name equal to Bangalore. Got it? Fine. So now if I click on this one, it will get cleared off. So if I don't apply any filter, it gives me the breakdown of sales amount or total sales amount by each category. Okay, it inclusive of all the cities, all the locations put together. And here, what I do is I just use I have used the calculate function, right? Calculate with filter. Um, okay, here what I do is I have used the Boolean, okay, this is a table filter expression. Let me go one thing. Yeah, filter with the plane. Yeah, calculate with plane. So here in this case, I have created a measure by this name. On the right side of the equal sign, calculate. Look here, the total sales. This measure, I used it inside this measure. You can use a measure. You can reuse a measure in other measure. So my new measure is this one. Inside this measure, I use another measure. Again, you don't have to give sum of sales amount and all. Okay. Because the total sales we already defined, total sales is equivalent to sum of sales amount, right? Why you need to put sum of sales amount every time, right? You are going to reuse the measure. And also, I have used the Boolean filter expression, location name equal to Chennai. Find out the total sales only for Chennai, okay? Here what I do is I just drag and drop this one here. Yeah, so this is 4,03,000, 3,84,000, right? 4,03,000. And but here what you say is only Chennai related sales. Okay. But here, did I apply any filter? Nothing, right? Did I select Chennai? Nothing. But in my measure, calculate with plain filter totals is I have used the filter explicitly. This one, I have added a new filter here, right? So since I added the filter where location name equal to Chennai in this measure, right? To calculate with plain filter, right? So in this measure, I have used the filter condition location name equal to Chennai, right? So even though I did not apply any filter, using the slicer, what happens within this filter context, which means in this measure, I use the filter where location name equal to Chennai within this filter context, right? So what happens? It gives me the breakdown of total sales amount by category. But in beverages, there were no sales happen in Chennai. In frozen foods, no sales happen in Chennai. Got it? Okay. If I select Bangalore, what happens? Look here, it gives me Bangalore sales. Along with Bangalore sales, I can see the total sales in Chennai. So why it is required? Why this column is required here? But if I apply the filter, it gives me the thing. Why should I, use this one? The reason is simple common sense. Okay, what could be the reason? Why don't you guys, or let's Bangalore and Delhi put together? So the Bangalore and Delhi put together, what is the total sales across each category? Okay, so and you can compare more than one city sales along with the, let's say in this case, right? This is your base location. Okay, so I'm going to, I'm going to select this visual. So, I'll give some meaningful name for this. Okay. But I'm not going to change the name of the measure. But for this visual alone, I'll give you the, column name for this. And what is the column name? Look here. So you can, how do I change the column name for a specific visual? Select that visual. On the right side, you will find the values, right? Values or category. Here, I'm going to click on the drop down and I'm going to say rename for this visual. And here what I do is I'm going to type it as Chennai total sales. That's all. So that people can say, oh, Bangalore and Delhi put together, what is the total sales and Chennai. And if I combine Chennai also here, all the three cities put together, what is the total sales? And only in Chennai, how much total sales? So you are getting additional insights. Supposing guys, if I select only the Chennai here, sorry, it gives me the same value in both the columns. Okay. But if I select Bangalore or any other city, right, Delhi, other things, right, So in the same report page, single visual, you can get different perspective of the sales performance, right? So this column will not change. This remains constant. Why, this column needs to be why this column remains or needs to be remain constant? The reason is, this is my base location. This is where we have a corporate office. This is where we started the business. We want to compare Chennai sales with other location sales side by side. Got it? For that purpose, we are using this is the use case. Okay, for this scenario, we are using this one. Okay. Next one is I have created another filter. So you might be asking this one. Hey, here we have used the Boolean filter expression. So instead of using instead of using the Boolean filter function, why don't you use the filter, right? And I just drag and drop this one here. And if I select the filter condition here, instead of giving the dim location name equal to Chennai, I have used this inside a filter function. The filter function is also an iterative function. But right, so but in the case of in the since it is a iterating function, the first argument is supposed to be your table name. So in this case, the table name is dim location. And also, I may specified about the location name equal to Chennai, all things. Okay, fine. But whether you use Boolean filter or filter expression, right, it should give you the Chennai related sales. But here, if I use, right, okay, let me select Chennai here. Or let's, I'm going to clear all the filter. So now both of them appear same. This one and this one. Okay. I did not apply any filter. Both of them, appears same, right? It looks, it is same only. Both the values are identical. Okay. But what is the difference between table filter expression and a Boolean filter? And this is what we discussed in the last session. For example, here, if I select Bangalore, it shows the Bangalore sales here. But whereas here, it still shows only the Chennai sales. This is what we needed because we want to compare each location sales along with Chennai sales. But here also I filtered using the Chennai only, but here I use the table filter expression. But it is not showing anything now. But when I clear this filter, it was showing correctly, right? But after applying the filter, this one is not displaying anything. Why? This is what scenario-based questions. One second here. I'm getting call. Yeah, so here I'm back now. Sorry. So here in this case, the Boolean expression, right? It filters the data. One second, I'm getting call. Yes. It has already filtered same location data. Okay, yeah. So because the filter function returns a table, right? Yes, like Sagar mentioned, right? It already applied the filter, right? In the case of table filter. So in the case of table filter, expression, it applies a filter to your entire table. It applies the filter to your entire table. So what happens behind the scene, the filter function so in the filter function returns a table which consists of only Chennai related data in it. but I have used the Bangalore. I have selected this location now. So what happens? The Bangalore, right? So since I applied the filter on the Bangalore, what will happen is this table, is not the location name is equal to Chennai. That is the condition. But what happens is, the Bangalore filter is applied there. Hence, that table does not contain any value in it because my filter function filters only the Chennai location, right? But when you select Bangalore, within this context, what happens? It checks whether that the condition would get changed right now. So in that case, what happens? So to verify that, you can click on it here. Sorry, back to report and click on the filter icon. Is Bangalore, right? So in that case, what happens? So this one overrides the external filter. So in this case, the external filter is your slicer. But whereas here, what happens? So even in this case, right, it applies the filter. But what happens is, since even though I use the calculate function, filter function, what happens is, it checks it gets, it is not overriding the filter. Can I say like that? Right? The filter function checks whether the location equal to Chennai. In this case, I've used the Bangalore. Hence, right, this condition fails. The entire table does not return any value. Hence, it is not displaying anything. But when I select Chennai location, it gives me the correct thing here. It is doing the filter. Okay. But when I use Delhi, so other than Chennai, it is not displaying anything here. But in the case of Boolean filter, it applies the filter at the column level or measure level within your calculation. So that is the difference here. The Boolean filter applies the filter at the column level, whereas table filter applies the filter at the entire table within a DAX function, right? You need to remember the difference between these two, okay? Okay, you want me to do this? Okay. Okay, Ashish says that why don't we check the performance thing? Okay, I just go to since you asked that one, I just go here, view ribbon, and then performance analyzer. I'm going to click on the performance analyzer and I'm going to start recording and refresh visuals. One more time, I just click on it. One more time, I click on it. And the matrix, I just explore the matrix and I'm going to copy the query. And then I'll put it in a notepad. This summarize columns, all the things, right? So is grand total, dim location, location name. See, treat as Bangalore, right? So define filter table, treat as Bangalore. And that is what the problem here, right? So in this case, it filters it by the, Bangalore thing, right? The filter function is not changing the filter context, right? Whereas this one is changing the filter context. Hey, even though so whatever you apply it here, I will just show, I will override this filter context. Even if you change Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, no matter what location you change it, I will still override the filter context. But whereas in this case, the calculate function, since I use the filter function, it overrides, it is not overriding the filter context, right? Simply it obeys the filter, external filter. That is what we can understand with the help of it. Because the table filter expression we use it applies the filter on the entire table within this context, okay? Whereas here it applies the filter at the column level. Sagar has some question. It is working like an Excel. Like if I apply a filter on one column and at the same time we try to apply other, all should all show the data which is remaining post applying first filter. Yeah, correct, right? So it in the case of Boolean filter, it applies a filter only on the column, but whereas it applies a filter on the entire column, right? Fine. So I'm going to refresh this one. Okay. So now you understood the purpose of calculate functions. In this case, the calculate function with this example, right, it simply overrides the filter context, right? So, but it is applying the internal filters, right? It applies the internal filters, but it overrides the sorry, it applies the internal as well as the external filter, but within the modified filter context. What do you mean by modified filter context? Where location I'm equal to Chennai. Within the Chennai location, it applies the internal filter, but it disregards or invalidates the external filter. We can say that way also. Okay. Fine. So next one is now you understood calculate function, right? The filter function also you understood. And next one is we have something called all function. Okay, all function. With all, we can achieve two. We can perform two tasks with the all function. Okay, we have something called ALL, all function. Using all function, you can duplicate an existing table. Okay, you can duplicate an existing table. Okay, it returns all the rows in a table, which means or all the values in a column, ignoring any filters or clears any initial filters that might have been applied. So with all you can achieve two things. One is you can duplicate a table, existing table, and other advantage of all is it can simply ignore the filters. Whether it's internal or external, it ignores simply the filters or it removes the filters. Okay, I'll just show you with all what we can do. First one we can ignore it. Okay, so it duplicates the table. Supposing let's you have the fact sales table. You want to duplicate the fact sales table again, right? You can use all function. Inside the all function, if we specify the fact table, it will create a new table with the copy of the same fact table. It's as simple as that. Okay, but predominantly what we do is we use all function to remove the filter context, right? I'll just show you here with an example. Here, in the interest of time, I just show you the all which I already, all measure. Look here, I click on this measure, calculate total sales, all function. Here, all is another function. This function, now I invoked it inside the calculate function, but you can use it separately also. You don't have to use all inside the calculate all the time. But in this case, I've used the all inside the calculate function. So this measure already created, it gives me the sum of sales. And here what will happen? It will remove the filter context, right? It will remove the filter from the category column. Okay, instead of category column, yeah, here we have used the category, right? Okay, okay. I just drop this all measure. So what happened in the case of all measure? Look here, if I select Bangalore, if you see the total sales of the Bangalore repeated across the rows, right? The same value repeated across the rows. Total sales of the Bangalore, the grand total of your Bangalore, got applied across the rows. So here the filter is dairy, in the dairy category. In Chennai, what is the total sales? Or in this case, right, the Bangalore, what is the total sales? But in this case, what happened? It ignores the internal filter, okay, and then the external filter also it ignores it. Got it? So this one might be confusing it. One second. This one might be confusing it at this moment. Don't worry. So you might be asking this, why the hell it has to repeat the total sales of the this one across the rows, right? The reason is, for example, I want to find out the ratio of the sales or percentage of, or I want to find out which category contribution is, revenue contribution is more out of the total sales with respect to Bangalore. Okay. So here it gives me the breakdown of total sales we made across the category. Fine. But your manager is asking, hey, divide the 100 by 6138 and multiply it by 100. That gives me the percentage of contribution by each category. Unlike Excel, you cannot directly, divide this value by this value. You cannot divide this value by this value. Right? In Excel, it is pretty simple. But whereas here it is not that straightforward. So what we are doing is, with the help of this measure, I'm going to display this total sales, the denominator value. So these are all numerator value, right? The denominator value, I'm going to display it across the rows. So in this case, what happens? If I divide this value by this measure value, and if I multiply this by 100, I can get the percentage of revenue contribution, okay, by each category. Here, percentage of sales all, right? Here, if I give this one, divide. So there is a function called divide. So what I do is simply I take this measure as in the numerator. This is your numerator. The denominator, simply I specify this value. So the name of this measure is all measure, comma 0. Sometimes, right, if you divide the numerator by denominator, the denominator, if you have 0 or something, it will throw an error. So what we will do is, in the case of error, you display 0. Instead of throwing an error, you simply put 0. But this is your numerator, this is what your denominator. This is for error handling purpose. This is for error handling purpose. Instead of throwing an error. So if an error comes, what will happen? This visual does not, it will not display anything, right? It will say error. To overcome that, what I put additional 0, additional parameter 0. So what happens is, even in case of error, it will simply override this error and put 0 here, okay, in the next column. So look here, I just drag and drop the percentage of sales all. Is it clear? So 100 divided by 6138 into 100, into 100, but here I did not do 100. If you want, you can multiply this by 100. Yeah, it is loading it. Can you see it here? It is loading it. That means, you have to wait for some time. Right, 1.63, 58.65, and it gives me the it gives me the value in terms of percentage, 1.63, 58.6. But if you add all the things, you will get 100. So it gives me an additional insight now. So this column is not required. This measure is not required for you people to understand, right? So, but this is the step 1. And step 2 is, you need to create 2 measures in this case, right? All measure, the separate measure. In this measure, I use the all function while performing the sum of sales. In that case, what happens? Simply, it takes this total sales, which simply disregards all the filters, internal, external filter. Okay. Sorry, it obeys the internal filter, right? External filter, right? So in this case, Bangalore, within the Bangalore, what the total sales? Simply put this one, but don't row by row filter, don't apply it here. Fine, 6138. This is the one, display. The reason why I've used this one is, if I use this measure total sales as a numerator, and if I use the denominator, it gives me the percentage. So, since now we have arrived this value, this is not required. So we can remove it here. So I just go down here, and here the all measure, I'm going to remove it. Okay, and I'm going to remove this order to overcome the confusion. Okay, fine. So percentage of sales. So right now we understood. So the all function, we have used it to disregard the filter that comes from the category column. Okay, category column. Okay, not from the location. Yes. So who asked this question? Sai Sudha asked this question. Sai Sudha's question is, sir, here why 6138, it appeared here. So why it is not, yeah, the reason is, why, okay, why it is not showing the total sales. See, total sales is, let me do one thing. What is the total sales? If I clear it, 456149. Okay, now I'll show you this one. All measure. Yeah, this is what you were told, which means all the locations put together, what the total sales, right? It is the one, this is the one will get displayed here. Okay, all the cities, all the locations put together, what the totals it displays here. Okay, so here in this case, if I apply the Bangalore filter, what happens in this case? This one, it applies this Bangalore filter to this visual. And what happens is, here it displays the total sales, grand sales, right? And across the rows, but it disregards the internal filter where category to beverages, it is not putting that. Okay. It is not displaying this value here, right? So simply it put this value directly here. That means it simply ignores this one. Instead, it puts only this one here. Okay, now if you divide the all measure, sorry, if you divide the total sales by all measure, it will give you this one. Okay, but you cannot directly divide 100 divided by 6138, 3661. That is not possible here. For that purpose, you have to use it like this. Okay, so in this case, the all measure disregards or it eliminates the filter on the category column because we have used the category column. Okay, I just go over here, all measure. So in this case, the all function, sorry, in the all function, the category column, I used it. Hence, it simply remove the filter from the category column. Now what I do is, we can specify more than one column also. Dim location, location name. So in this case, what will happen is, it will ignore the filter from category column as well as the location column. Now you tell me what value will get displayed here. Instead of Bangalore total get displayed across the rows, overall total will get displayed across the rows. Now it throws an error. Function must be same from same table. Correct. All function, all non-function must be from the same table. Yeah, you cannot use from different table. Okay, that is one drawback here. What I will do is 1 second. Instead, the fact sales, I have the, I don't have the category column directly available here, right? Yeah, that is one problem. Anyhow, this is going to be an assignment. I will explain you about that assignment later, okay? See, in case you want to, disregard the filter from these two columns, how can you do that? So for that, we can use the fact sales result, but unfortunately, the fact sales table, we don't have the category column. Okay, directly it is not available. I think location key is available, but which is nothing but the location name. The category key is not available. Instead, only the product key is there, right? So this is little bit challenging. Okay. So anyhow, I don't want to confuse you now. I will just so this one I will demonstrate with the sales W04 table. Okay. The same thing, but in this example, we are using more than one table. Okay. If I use single table, it is pretty simple, right? But guys, you need to understand one thing very clearly. The real world will be working with more than one table. Look here, in this case, yeah, I will use temporarily here, right? The same thing. No, no, I don't disturb this one. For you people to understand what I meant, okay? So in sales W04, I have the category column. Yeah, sales 04, fine. And next what I do is I'm going to use the calculate function. You calculate table measure, let's see. I think no, there's a calculate table measure. Hmm. Okay, what I'm going to do is, in the interest of time, I just go here and I just pick up the calculate. And here I just click on the modeling ribbon and a new measure. Here the measure name is total sales same, right? Here we have the location here. Which one can we use it here? Yeah, we will use segment here, okay? Instead of city name, we'll use segment here. Or I'm going to use the category itself. Category. One second, sorry, I mistakenly put capital C here. One second, this is the capital C. Category. Okay, sales W04 and category. Okay, so category is equivalent to, I just put furniture. Okay, not furniture. Let's know I'll put technology here. Oh, you want the location, right? Okay, here I don't have location. Yeah, we will use region otherwise. Okay, we will use region. I'll just show you. Okay, otherwise, yeah, as you mentioned, I'll use different column. Region is equivalent to, let's say, the north region or something. I don't know, north, or let's say south region. Okay, I just press enter. This all name category, yeah, and okay, South. So this one will display only the total sales which made it in the South region, okay? You just think, the location is nothing but the region here, okay? I just drop it here. Yes, good. We have the South region sales available here in the data. In the region, we have something called South region, okay? Simply, I'll put South total sales. That's all. Press enter. And I'm going to use a filter here. And here I'm going to use a region. Sales W04. I just drop it here. Okay. If I select Africa, it gives me the Africa sales in this one, right? It gives me the North region sales, right? It gives me the South region sales. It gives me the South region. For example, if I select South, both of them show South region. But this one gives me all the region put together with the total sales. But if I select anything Africa, it gives me Africa, total sales by category. This is Africa related breakdown of sales. This is South region related total sales. Because the calculate function, I have used the Boolean filter like where region equal to South. Irrespective of the region you selected, this one will override the external filter by the South region. Okay. Okay, cool. So the next one is the all function. Let's use the all function. So here, what I am going to do is in this case, yeah, I need to modify this one for demo for the sake of the. Here, what I do is I'm going to, yeah, category, right? Yes. So what this all function does is remove all the filter that comes from the category where furniture equal to category, where category equal to furniture, don't filter it. If I use all function, what will it will remove all the row level filter, because in the row level we have categories. We simply exclude the filters on this one. Instead, if I exclude, what will happen? It gives me the only one total value, right? The total value will get displayed across the rows. Got it? So all function sales M. Okay, I'm going to press enter. Look here, 6,50,000 got displayed across the rows, the all function. Because right, I have used the all function on the category column. Since I've used the all function on the category column, this function remove the filter from category where furniture equal to where category equal to furniture, it is not doing that. Ideally, how it should work, where category equal to furniture, out of the total sales, how much total sales we made, right? It should give the filter by row here, right? In this case, the row is furniture, office supplies, technology. Where category equal to furniture is not applied because of the all function on the category column. Simply what happens, it gives me the total sales across the rows. See, if I put the total sales in a visual, right? If I put only one measure total sales, what will happen? It gives me the total sales. This is the one it gives, right? Right? So that is the one repeats across the rows because it overrides the default behavior. Which one? The all. All function removes the filter on the specified column. In this, the specified column is category. Okay, now the question is, if I apply Africa, what will happen? This one will get changed, right? So this measure will get changed. It will show the Africa related sales breakdown across the category. But what about here? The same thing, right? 6 lakhs is nine, it gives me the across rows. But this one remains constant. This is south where condition, where region equals south, this one remains still constant. Because I have used the Boolean filter expression. But here I have used the all function. All function, what happens? It eliminates the filter on your row level thing. Okay, I just clear this one. Is that clear? So why should I use all function here? The reason is, if I wanted to know the percentage of contribution by each category, so I can use this measure in the numerator. I can use this measure in the denominator. So this one will get divided by this one, and this one will get divided by this one. The reason is, unlike Excel, you cannot take this value and you cannot divide by this value by specifying the cell value. What we are doing, simply we are displaying this side by side, so that, hey, divide this by this and divide by this, that's all. Okay, that is what is happening here. I think I already created percentage. Yeah, so here the numerator is total sales and denominator is your all function, right? Sales M. Or else, in case of any error, put 0, multiply it by 0, that gives me the percentage, same as what I explained earlier. It gives me 34% of contribution by furniture. See, instead of going sometimes, right, instead of looking at the big number, if you look at the smaller number, you can gain a quick insight, right? So 39% contribution by technology. Right? It gives me much better. Sometimes the percentage gives you much better insight than looking at the bigger number, especially if the sales value or something, it's a very big number. With this small number, right, you can understand quickly. In terms of percentage, you will be able to. So now this one is no longer record. I can remove it. Anyhow, I will keep it as it is for some time. So why the all function is helpful here? Technically, the all function, it ignores the filter comes from category column. Okay. But if I apply Africa, it is not removing the filter comes from region. Remember that. All function is not removing the filter comes from region column, but it removes the filter comes from the category column. This is very important point. Why it is not, eliminating the filter from region? Because in the all function, I use the category column. So now I will show you what I wanted to show you. Now what I do is, not this one, the all function. If I add the region column here, it will remove the filter of this column. It will remove the filter comes from this column. It will display the total sales across all the region, across the rows. Okay. For this, what I do is all function sales one. Okay. What I will do is all function across region. Okay. Region, where is the region column? Scroll down. Now I put in this measure, I create another measure, okay, for you to understand how it works, right? All function across region sales. So what value it gives us? All function across region. It's already put it right. Okay, okay. No, okay, okay. Let me do it. I remove the other function. All function. Oh, I have rewritten. I did not create an. Oh, I have renamed the the measure. Okay, the actually the original measure was like this. Okay, I'll just put this one here. See, initially we're having this one, right? All function sales. In this case, I will put only the category column. So row level filter, it will simply disregard it. Now, in this filter, in this case, it disregards the category column filter as well as the region column filter. In this case, right? The previous case. The current case, okay, all functions sales. Hmm. I will put these two things together. This all function, what it does. So in this case, I have used inside the all function, I used only the category column. Whereas in this case, inside the all function, I've used the category as well as the region. That means whatever filter comes from the slicer, region slicer, and whatever the filter comes each row, right? It simply disregards. So all the region put together, all the category put together, what is the total sales? It displays this across the rows. To verify that, I'll just click on it here. Look here. So now I removed the filter, no filter. So this one tells us what? I did not apply any region filter. I did not apply any category, right? So here, yeah, here the category filter applied by default. Okay. Here I did not apply any filter. So that means all the region put together, what is the total sales breakdown by category? Okay. So that is what we can see it here also. And we can see it here also. Okay. In this case, what happens? In this case, what happens? It simply disregards the row level filter because in this measure, I just put this one here. I think most of you got confused. 1 second. But you need to, have patience to concentrate here. Okay. So I just copy paste this one here. I have something called insert and the text box. I click on the text box. I'll put it here. This is the DAX function. 1 second. But if you concentrate here, you should be able to understand. If you don't concentrate here, you're gone. Another painful thing. Okay, so this one, sorry, this one, all function sales. Yeah, this is the one. It is not working. Oh, sorry. Okay, I will use this way. So in this case, what I used it, I've used the category column, right? It ignores the filters comes from the category column. Instead, it displays this value across the rows. Okay? Is it clear? Next one is all function across region sales. Guys, please concentrate here, otherwise you'll not. This very basic thing you need to understand, okay? In this case, the all function I have used the two column, category and region. So it will ignore the filter comes from the category, and also it it ignore the filter comes from region. So so here what we are saying, right? In simple language, real life scenario, right? So don't obey your family. This is your family, internal family members advice. Also ignore the advice from your family members and also from the outside world. So people outside world, outside your family, if they give any advice, you ignore it. And inside your family, if anybody gives advice, ignore it. No matter who gives advice, you simply ignore it. But in this case, you ignore your family's advice, but you still obey the external outside people's what is that? The suggestions or the advice, right? You are able to understand. So ignore your family members' advice, but here you respect the outside people's advice. I think with this simple plain English, you are able to understand, right? And here in this case, I will not obey my family's request and I will not obey others' request also. I'm not going to consider anybody's request. Simply, I will disregard the filter comes from these two guys, region, and because I've used the region column, category column. But if I put only the sales W04, all the columns related filters will get be removed. But in this case, I put only these two columns. Hence, category and region columns filter will get removed. Anything comes from this one will get removed. Whereas here, in this case, it will remove the filter comes from category. It will not obey the filter comes from category, but it still obeys the filter comes from region, right? For example, if I select Africa, 6,69,000 got displayed across, which means the filter comes from furniture and office supplies. It was not applied here, but it applied the Africa. Africa's total sales is this one, right? But whereas here, both internal as well as the external is simply removed. Okay, it is not obeying it. No matter what my family tells, what the outside world tells, I am like what I am. Now it gives me the total sales. Are you guys able to understand this one? If you are not able to, that means you are not concentrating here. Is it clear? Yes. Yes. Okay, good. But still, most of you are not able to understand. That means you are not concentrating here. Okay. Okay, you are not obeying internal as well as the external in this case because I mentioned category and region, category column and region column. If I exclude region, what will happen? It will still display Africa's totals is across the rows, right? Like this. Simple. It is as simple as that. If you cannot understand, you can watch my video. Okay, so now you understood what is all function. What is the purpose of using all function? The idea of using all function is we want to disregard the total sales. So in this case, what happens? Look here, percentage of total sales all, right? And here, all function across region sales. So we wanted to divide the total sales by across the region, right? So out of the total sales, how much sales we made in each category, 1.6. Now, if your manager asks you, out of the total sales we made in Africa, what is the percentage of contribution of revenue from each category? So now you need to divide this one by this. The denominator is this one. So now you can get additional insight, right? Within the selected region, give me the percentage of contribution by each category. Got it? That is an assignment for you guys. You give it a try. But if you simply disregard and if you don't, take my report file, right? And if you don't practice it, you're gone. You don't need report file also. Open a report file. But anyhow, tables are there. Already I shared this report file. That is enough. Create a new page. But watch my video, pause it, and get it done. Okay. So next function is all except. We have something else called all except. Not all except, sorry, all selected. Okay. We are going to look at another function called all selected. Look here, we have all selected function. Instead of all function, I've used all selected. That's all. Okay. So this one remains same and this one remains same also. So here all selected, like all function, it will remove the filter comes from category. Okay. Here what it is, all selected. Already I created it. I just drag and drop this here. In this case, if you right, since I did not apply any, I'm going to clear the filter. Okay. If you see all the column values look same, right? So this one and this one, all these three measures values are same. But only when you apply the filter, you will get to know how each measures behaves, right? But in this case, it shows the total sales across all the region breakdown, right? So out of the total sales across all the region, it gives me the breakdown of sales by category. But in this case, it simply displays this value across rows. Here also it is same value across rows, but here also it displays same thing. But if I apply a filter, you can see, there is a change in this one and this one and this one, right? In, this one and this one and this one. In this case, what happened? All selected function, I have used only the category column, right? I have used only the category column. I'll just show you here. Listen very carefully. Category. Did I use region here? No, right? No. So in this case, since I use the category column, yes. So, it displays similar to this one, right? 6,69 displays this one. Okay. And yeah, displays this one only. Okay. And okay, let me do one thing. Okay. So here, yeah, I'm going to see to understand this one. I need to create another visual, another slicer. Okay. This one is slightly complex. You need to understand this one. Okay. In this case, I'm going to use a category column here. If I, in addition to the category, if I select furniture here and technology. So what is happening here? In this case, if you see this measure, right, it is not displaying the total sales of Africa furniture and technology category, right? But if you see the all selected function, in the case of all selected function, I use only the category, not the region, all selected function. But still, the all selected function obeys the external filter, but it removes the filter comes from your category column. So furniture and technology, it removes the filter comes from the row level. It displays the total sales across the rows. The idea of all selected function is for the values that are displayed in your visual, right? For that, the corresponding total will get displayed across the rows. That's all. The all selected function, I have used only the category column, but still it obeys the category as well as, sorry, it obeys the region. It obeys the external filter comes from region other than category. The external category, external filter in both the case visual, both the slices, the external filter, it obeys. It shows here furniture and technology only, but it is not obeying the filter comes from category, but it obeys the filter comes from region column. It gives me the total sales of the displayed values in this region across the rows. Okay, so what is this one displaying it here? What this one is displaying it here? So in the all function, you need to see we have removed the filter only in the category, right? So any filter comes in the category, it has to remove it. But what happens is here, it gives me the total sales in Africa region for all the three categories. It displays that here. So in this scenario, it simply disregards the filter comes from category column. Okay, external filter, right? External filter. So the all function, we mentioned explicitly category. So internal and external filter from category column simply disregards. Whereas in the case of all selected, it in this case, correct. So the external filter from both the slices are applied here, right? So in the furniture and technology category in Africa, display the total sales. Yeah. All simple here, all selected function, it obeys the external filters. Okay. Whereas the all function in this case, right? So yeah, in this case, it simply disregards the filter comes from the external filter. External, it simply disregards the external filter that comes from the category, and the internal filter comes from category, also it disregards. But we have not used the region column here inside the all function, but it still obeys the region here. Okay. But I wanted to disregard both the region as well as the category. That is when I have written this one. Okay, the category and region column explicitly I used it in this measure. Hence, what happens is no matter what region you select, what category you selected, I will give you the total sales across all the region, across all the category. This one. But this one, right? So no matter what category you select, I will give you all the categories, total sales, provided that within this region context. But in this all selected, what happens is I have used only the category column. So in this case, what happened? It simply obeys the external filter, category as well as the region, but internal filter disregards. So for these two categories, what is the total filter? So what is the total says for these two categories, that one get displayed here. Simply your manager asking you, okay, what is the total revenue contribution by each category out of the total sales, right? Out of the total sales, this is the one. This is a percentage sales all. Okay, let me just check. Like I have used it. I've used a text. In the text, I put everything, right? You open this report and then you just put it here. Okay. Here I have used the, so the percentage of sales, all right. Here I have used simply across region sales. Okay. This one divided by this one, it gives me out of the total sales, irrespective of the region, irrespective of the category, it displays the total sales divided by this one. Out of the total sales, what is the revenue contribution by Africa with respect to furniture and technology category, right? So, sorry, not that one. Yeah, out of the total sales for furniture and technology, what is the percentage of revenue contribution? But if somebody is asking you, so divide this value by this one and this one, so that is when this is helpful in simple term. So what you do is you put all the measures right next to this one, if you want to still understand, right? And then work out one by one. Okay. So what you do is you create one visual first to play around with all functions, all the three, so these up to this, right? First 5 columns you play around with it, and then 6th column you try it out, and then you try this one and try to understand. Sometimes, right, you may have to watch my video more than one time so that you can understand. Okay. See, if your manager asking me out of the total value displayed in my visual after applying the filter, give me the percentage of revenue contribution out of this displayed categories total sales. So 1,80,000 divided by this one, 3,02,000 this one. Your manager asking another question. Hey, give me the total sales in each category out of the overall sales percentage contribution. That is the one this. Okay, and he goes and asks one more thing, right? So give me the percentage of revenue contribution. Okay, in Africa. So out of the total category sales, all the category put together, what is the total sales in Africa? That one you need to use it in dinar. This is the one you need to use. This is the one gives you, right? In Africa, all the category put together, what is the total sales? Now, if you divide this value by this, you can tell him, so the percentage of revenue contribution across all the categories in Africa, so and so. That is an assignment for you. You try it out. Is it clear? So now you understood how powerful all selected, all function, right? In terms of getting more insights. Look at this advanced insight. You can go one more step. You can create 2 more columns, right? So percentage of contribution. So in that case, they don't give me the percentage of contribution. You display this one. In addition to that, I wanted to know. So for these 2 category in Africa, these are total sales. Now you give me the percentage of revenue contribution by each category out of the total sales in Africa, right? So that is another assignment for you, right? That you display here. And he goes one step further and asks you, okay, so out of the total category, all the category put together, right? So what is the total sales in Africa, right? So, and then you divide by each category, divided by total category, right? So all the categories thing. So this is the one gives this one. So like how I clicked on insert and insert the text, right? You put all the copy paste that one, all the things that I wrote it here in the measures, and then you compare it, you will be able to understand very clearly. Yes, Sagar, you need to understand more than one time because I combined all the things in one go. See, if somebody is asking you, so each category, show me all the category here. See, simple, right? If I clear all the things, I clear all things. If your manager asks you, right? So what is the total sales breakdown across the category? You can display this one. Very simple, right? If you ask you, hey, out of the total sales, what is the revenue contribution in each category? So obviously you need to take this value and divide by this value. So that is the one we have achieved it here, right? That is the one 34% revenue on. So overall 39 point. This is the total. So this is the highest percentage contribution, right? Technology. This is pretty straightforward. This is scenario 1. In scenario 2, I wanted to see a specific region total sales, yes, displayed. And in this specific region, what is the revenue contribution out of all the categories? See, in Africa, all the 3 categories, what is the total sales? See, all the 3 categories, 6,69,000, right? That is what displays this. So, right, and if you take this value and divide by this value, you will get the percentage. So now what happened? In this case, 1,13,000. Okay, I'll just Okay, Suja says I got confused completely. That's why you lost your mind somewhere, right? You need to concentrate here. So there are three scenarios, guys. Out of the total sales, right? No matter what region, what category, right? All the region, all the category put together. Give me the percentage of revenue contribution of each category. You are done. And you try the same thing in Excel also, okay? And Excel also, so that you'll be able to understand very clearly, okay? And the next thing is, he says, no. Now next scenario to is, if I select any specific region, okay, out of the so out of the total sales we made in the three categories, but here we are limiting not all the region, okay? Only in Africa region, what is the total sales we made in all the three categories? Okay, and each category how much sales you made. So each category how much sales you made, that you need to divide by total sales you made in all the three categories in Africa. This is another insight. Okay, you want to see that okay. And I think this one is showing that one, right? This is the one is changing now. So you try this one. And what is all selected here? All selected, what it does is, if I select something in the category slicer, only the specific values in this category, in this specific region, Africa region, displays the furniture and technology related thing. And then it gives me the total sales only for these two category. Out of the, out of this total sales for the displayed categories, give me the percentage of revenue. 1,80,000 this way and this one with this. So for, for all selected, simple here, you need to take this total sales divided by this one, and then total sales by this one you need to do it, right? For that, you need to create two measures. That's all. All the measures are available. You need to create two more measures. Those two measures, you need to use divide. That's all. Same thing, madam. Same thing, Canada. So if you select Canada also, right, it gives you this Canada also, right? If you select East region, it gives you the East region total sales. It gives me the same thing. Yeah. Try the same thing. See, I'll just write the reporting requirement. See, I'll just write it here. I think still you are not clear. One is out of the total sales with respect to what are the total what out of the total is yeah, the revenue contribution, right? Revenue, the percentage of revenue contribution by each category. This is one of the reporting requirements. Your manager asked you to create a report. Yes, we are done with this, right? Total sales, and this we are done. Okay, out of the total sales, personal revenue contribution, which if you unselect everything, that is the one will give you that one. Second one, what he's asking is, show me or display, show me in Africa region. Yeah, Africa in the sense you need to put, okay, Africa or Canada, okay. Okay, show me in any region the percentage of sales contribution by each category. How will you do this one? Show me in Africa region percentage of sales contribution by each category out of the total sales in Africa. Is it clear? And scenario 3 is, guys, customer Americans, they will not teach you like this, okay? Right, you need to work more on your analysis part, okay? And the next one is the all selected. So next he goes one step. Let's say your manager is tough guy, right? He's telling, hey, Everything is fine. You created these two things fine, but I need one more request. What is that? So whatever the category that I selected within this region, you need to give me the percentage of revenue contribution for this selected category. So you add this, furniture is 10 rupees and technology is 10 rupees, 20 rupees, right? This is the total. But you divide by 10 divided by 20. So this 20 rupees in Africa, right? Africa total sales in these two categories 20. So, but in furniture 10 and technology 10 divided by 20, 10 divided by 20, right? That is what the all selected gives us. The all selected what it gives us is, so out of the displayed total, is this one. Out of the displayed total, give me percentage of revenue contribution by category. So in this case, only two categories are there, right? So furniture and technology, here 10 rupees, 10 rupees. So out of the total sales we made in furniture and technology, which is 20, give me the revenue contribution by each category. Furniture 10 divided by 20 and 10 divided by 20, that is your revenue. So that is what you can achieve with all selected function, right? So these are the three requirements. If he gives you should be able to create a report, right? Okay. So everything is recorded. Don't worry. You need to watch this video. I will upload it. This very important video. Okay, 1 second. The recording is going on. Cool. So now you understood what is all selected function and all function. Okay, and the all function you can specify the table name itself, or you can specify one or more than one column. Okay, if you specify a single column, it will display, it will remove or disregard the filter comes from that specific column only. If you put more than one column, so whatever the filters comes from those two columns, right? It will simply disregard it. The all selected function, it will obey the external filter, but it disregards the internal filter. All selected. Okay. See, all selected is something like us, right? So what we do is if somebody gives advice from the outside, we'll simply obey them. But family, internal family, they give, we simply ignore it, right? It is something like us, all selected. But all functions something a rude guy, right? You will never listen to internal people, outside people. All function, right? But again, right? So, but again, you can classify it here. So here, I have mentioned only the category column, right? So in this case, what happens? Internal people advise, you will not listen, right? But external people, you will listen it. But people like your family member, you will not listen. See, here 6,69,000 is nothing but in Africa, what is the total? See, if I select one more thing, right? 6,69,000, that means, so all the three categories put together, 6,69,000 sales we made in Africa. But if I unselect anything, right? So with this, we are able to understand all the three categories put together. See, this guy obeys, this guy is not obeying the internal filter comes from the category column and also the external cutter. So internal, external, with respect to the category column is disregards it. But he is obeying this one because we did not use the region column in the all function, right? But here we have used both the categories of region. Hence, what happens? So he doesn't listen to local people and all the outside people. Very simple one. Apart from this, we have all except function. We'll discuss this in the upcoming weekend, okay? Because you will get confused. But guys, you need to practice it. If you practice it, it is very, very simple. See,